Good morning, stepsons. I thought I'd take today's shave video and just tell you a little bit about why I make these videos for you. It was a Christmas morning 61 years ago when a single mother with 4 children was in labor. Her husband wasn't there, and so her younger brother, who was visiting, drove her to the hospital so she could give birth. It was 2 minutes to midnight when he entered the world. Here was this young single mother with 5 children now to raise by herself because her marriage was falling apart. Her husband was no longer in the home. They would divorce a year or two later. That's the story of my birth. If you're a single mom and you're faced with raising kids by yourself, then I know what you're going through, and I hope you know how much I honor you and appreciate you for doing what you're doing, because I know it is a ton of work and it is very hard, and it will feel like life's not even worth it because that's all you can do and you can't even do that well. Hold on, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I grew up watching my older siblings and seeing how they dealt with life, but none of us had a dad in the home. So we didn't have a role model or an example or anyone to see what a man was supposed to do or his role in the family. Fortunately, I had a lot of friends whose dads were still in their homes. I observed that there were different types of dads. Some were passive, sat around while mom took care of the kids, and others who were very much engaged, teaching their boys how to do things, expecting stuff of them, and having fun with them. One friend of mine and I, we played a lot of basketball in the driveway, and we'd go play tennis at the local park, and if his dad was around, he would come and do both of those things with us. When I turned 12, I became part of a youth group, scouting and church. And in that group, we had numerous adult men supervisors, but the one that was most influential on me was named Mark Gould. He was involved with the young men, the youth, for the whole time I was a youth. And so I got to have the positive influence of these guys in my life, albeit part-time, but it was very significant and very meaningful. But even with those positive examples to look at, there's a lot of self-doubt that comes in play. For a young man that doesn't know where he's headed in life, how life is going to turn out, you start to have interest in young women and you don't know how to manage relationships well. Am I going to go to college? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Will I succeed if I go to college? What kind of a job can I get? Am I going to be able to provide for a family? Am I even a guy that a girl would be interested in going on a date with, let alone marrying? And all of these self-doubts add up over time. They don't go away. You wrestle through them. You have some positive experiences that give you some hope, and you have some crash and burn experiences that make you feel like, man, I'm not cut out for life. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Well, how does a boy, without someone to go to as a role model and as a confidant and as someone to help when he's in trouble or scared or doesn't know, how does he succeed at figuring out how to be an adult man? Even if you've mastered work and discipline, and you are not engaged in family life, you're missing out on what is most important for you and for the next generation. That's why I'm making these videos. Not only because of the emptiness and the challenge and the fear that I felt when I was growing up and figuring out that, gosh, you can figure this stuff out. It's not as bad as you make it out to be, like most problems aren't. And there's a lot of happiness that you can have and fulfillment on the other side of all that fear and all that worry. But how do you get there? That's why I make these videos. I look around and I don't see a lot of support for young men that don't have dads or don't have good positive male role models. I want you to know that there is a path forward for you, that you can figure out how to succeed in life. You can learn the discipline. You can figure out how to do the hard things. And not only that, you might discover that they're not as hard as you think they are, and that there's a lot of happiness and fulfillment that comes from those things. And yes, I am talking about self-discipline, about taking care of yourself, about being the kind of person that someone might want to spend the rest of their life with, about developing relationships, about having intimate relationships, one in particular with your spouse, and about having children and having your own family. You're going to find that fulfillment that you didn't have while you were growing up in that environment. And that's why I do these videos. I hope they're helpful, at least to some of you, and particularly to those of you young men that have grown up without a positive influence in your life in the form of your dad or another positive male role model. It's not bad to be a man. It's a very, very good thing. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be embarrassed, and learn how to be a good man, and you can. If you find that you're in that boat and you're not sure where to start, then check out the links in the bio or in the description. There's a couple of resources I put together to help you get started. You can succeed even if you haven't had a dad involved in your daily life, and you do have a dad that loves you. And I will see you on the next video.